There we are, in case you don't recognize us, with the mask. We are deep inside Nazi territory. Occupied Michigan. We've been in quarantine for over 60 days. We've had to learn to adapt. See?
And adjust, as you can plainly see. We've spent a lot of the quarantine actually following what was requested and asked, and at a certain point we've just reached a level of, we gotta still train, we gotta do something.
So we tried drills and just encouraging each other and stuff like that. You can't do it. We've also had trouble with our sleep schedules and weight, eating habits, and well, I'm done with executive orders. We realize we can't go to big schools or tournaments, but we also realize that they're going to drive us right back into where this started, which is garages, basements, and driveways. Now, many of us, well, we already had that equipment, so I don't know what they expected to have happen here. In my neighborhood, they were playing basketball next door until we started the camera. There's kids playing in the street. You can hear lawnmowers going. All this stuff's against what we've been told, but at some point you gotta get realistic now. In our county, to date, which we can't say the date because we don't know where we're going to post this, and we don't want to be illegal. So today, there is only 87 deaths from COVID-19 in the state of Michigan, or excuse me, in Washtenaw County. In the state of Michigan, it's pretty high, but 50% of the deaths come from 3 counties. If you take Macomb, Wayne, and Oakland County, that's half our deaths. The rest of it is a massive state, a lot of room. And in our county, where we live, like 87 people have died. Neither one of us know anybody with COVID. We don't know anybody that's had it.
And what I do for a profession, I've been deemed essential. And what I do is cleaning for a profession. I am not what you would think you would run into people getting sick or people getting messed up. We're not a hospital, so a lot of the staff has still been showing up for weeks now because we're deemed essential, even though there's no one in the buildings. There's no need for us to be there and be put at risk. We're still there because I don't work directly for a particular entity. It's a third-party contract company, so we don't get a choice. You could choose to stay home, which is fine, but as many of you out there know, that's quite a loaded choice, because if you don't come in, you don't make money. If you don't make money, you're going to fall behind, and the help they're offering is only going to last so long.
So for us, you gotta make your own decisions in regards to your health and your loved ones, and we think we're smart and responsible enough to do that. We practice murder as a hobby. We're pretty good at assessing risk. As far as health risk, it's nothing new. This has only been legalized in Michigan for a bit now. Come up on our second year
of recreational. About 10 or more so years of medicinal.
Yeah, but my point is, this was a friendly felony. Everybody did it. And now they took it away. And apparently they're going to make a whole new list of us criminals. For doing what? Practicing jiu-jitsu or MMA, boxing, or I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm 50. I don't run anymore. I've been practicing fighting most of my life. I never liked running, and I'm certainly not going to run now because it hurts my knees and shins. And on top of that, I didn't spend all this time learning how to fight so I can fucking run. So, I don't know where you guys stand with this, but man, if you could put it in the comments, I think that all of us are intelligent enough to make our own risk assessments. You do it every day when you get in the car, when you pick out what you eat, every day. So, we're going to sit back and smoke this joint. And,
Oh, and for the record, the entire time through this thing, if we were even lucky enough to get to see each other, it was met with individual joints and still 6 feet apart, so we could at least still try to not go crazy and still have our friends and companions to talk to and see.
yeah, we haven't, this is the first joint we smoked together since 316.
And if you know us, that's really quite the most fucked up achievement, because that's not how we roll or live.
Yeah, so I mean, we were talking about cultural changes it's made, and for like seriously, 49 days, they had us pretty well feared in and following rules, and then we started evaluating and looking at stats, and
Someone's about to barbecue.
yeah, I guess we'll really like their barbecue.
Charcoal fluid.
real tight charcoal, or real tight quarantine over here. So, anyways, I'm sure we'll hear some yelling and screaming and carrying on. But yeah, people in my community are kind of sticking together, and yeah, it's social distancing, but also everybody's kind of leaving each other alone. People are having people over. Families are getting together. I mean, it's America. If you just got here, you kind of do what the fucking please here. Oh, sorry, I might have edited that out. We kind of do as we please here, and that's called freedom. And if you're not a fan of freedom, remember, it goes both ways. I'm not telling you to go outside. You can stay inside, avoid sunshine, avoid fresh air, avoid working. You know, I think that's a big fear. A lot of people are afraid of working, as much as they are of COVID. But nonetheless, I mean, you can run it your way. I'm just saying, let me do my life my way. And we can't tell you what day it is, but I can tell you.
Well, this is a random thought that just popped in my head. If I'm deemed essential and I still have to go work, which means you're still taxing me, which means I'm still being one of the few things making the economy go, because I'm helping that still go when half the people don't want to show up. And it can be understandable why you don't want to, but at the same time, it's ridiculous to overreact, because any given day you step out that front door, your risk factor goes up 100% just stepping out your front door. And that's not even talking about pandemics. That's talking about drive-bys or accidental shootings, or shit, that hamburger you ate one too many times and now your heart's at Widowmaker stage.
Yeah, or you rot out your guts and end up with, intestinal issues because you've been eating shit food for 20 fucking years. I mean, a lot of these people are at risk. That's the other thing that pisses me off. I don't need somebody that's 200 pounds overweight and diabetic at their own demise telling me to stay inside for their health. I got news for you. That's not going to work for me. I'm trying to keep the language from being less colorful, but that's absurd. If you got the problem, you stay out of public. Now, you can hear more of my neighbors about. I live in a multicultural neighborhood. That's part of the reason I think everybody gets along so well. Everybody honestly likes to make it a black-white thing. I have a mosque not very far from my house. Yep. Some of the best neighbors I have black neighbors, I have white neighbors, I have old neighbors, I have younger neighbors, and we all get along over here. So all the problems that seem to be happening around the world, I mean, if I can get along with everybody, and I'm kind of a dick, I don't understand why everybody else can't do it. So I'm not saying you don't have the right to choose, but don't tell me I don't have the right to choose. that's what things are going to get a little screwy. And don't go propagating lies on false statistics, because then you lose all your credibility. And
for some of you younger folks, you may not remember there was a time and a place in this damn country where your word meant something. And you let people do what they needed to do in order to survive. You don't start to belittle them, degrade them, call them idiots, or not try to see it from their perspective.
Or call them Nazis because they don't agree with you, like our governor. You know, she's claiming there's white supremacists at that protest. Well, I watched that protest through a cell phone footage, and there was no Nazi flag there. They were calling her a Nazi. There was a Betsy Ross flag. I guess she was referring to that as Nazi. Yeah, there was people there with guns, but Michigan, they were allowed to protest with firearms. They complain about being bullied, but yet I don't see any citizens imposing their will on them.
When we're talking about bullying, they were the ones who brought up the 1-800 snitch on your neighbor for having their family come over or having someone come check on them.
Yeah, we're living in a neighborhood where it's $1,000 fine if they were to catch us doing this. And
encourage snitching.
Yeah, and the person that snitches gets a $75 cash deal for snitching. I can show you my street. There's people in it. There's stuff going on right now. There is no snitching. Now, I don't live in a high NB zip code. I don't want to pay for an OKK neighborhood's taxes. I'd rather live somewhere a little more diverse. Well, we're about done smoking, so our rant's done. I don't know, we feel better. We'll
especially not having gotten to see you guys and getting to try and get the comments and the opinions of you guys as well.
Oh yeah.
Because like we've said before, we want this to be a community discussion, because for us, jiu-jitsu and cannabis is the lifestyle that we've embraced our whole lives before we even found jiu-jitsu. So
yeah, I mean, and as far as making us into criminals, I mean, whatever. You made us into criminals most of our fucking lives already. So I was a little worried about losing my bad boy image when we legalized, because you know what the fuck am I going to do? The sneaking around part was gone. So go ahead, make me into a criminal again. Like I could give
I'm going to show you a quick takedown. Came from Macma. If you guys don't know what it is, look it up. This is a back attack. Now, in our current situation in life, you never know when you might need to, defend somebody. So this is the quickest and kindest way to do that. This technique is so fast that they cannot even draw a gun before they're out. Steve? All right. First part of this attack, when you come up behind somebody, you never stare at the back of their head. They'll know you're coming. You want to stare just off to the side, one of their shoulder blades. It really does make a difference. When you make the approach, you want to have your lead foot, which would be whatever foot you're dominant on. It'd be my left foot forward to the target. You're going to pick this foot up, and you're going to cross it so it's wide. You're going to step on the back of his knee. When he does that, you scoop your arm around to the front. That immediately puts him in a very precarious position. You can finish it up, from here, but the best way to do it from here, when you're standing up, is all I have to do is either drop to the ground or roll forward. Now, I didn't execute this fast, but watch how fast he taps. Whew. All right.
Awesome. Nice.
So that I will show you again, but that works on everybody, and it'll take less than 3 seconds. Do this a little quicker. You come up behind. Armpit should be all the way over the shoulder when you guys do this. When I see a lot of people choking, they choke short, meaning they'll put their biceps over the shoulder, and then they end up with this like straight cut across their throat. It takes too long. If you get your armpit on their shoulder and come across, you can see my elbow and his chin line up. Right there, I have both sides. All right. So when I step on this harder, because I'm going to do this hard this time, Steve's going to fall forward. Now you can just squeeze and pop him right up, quick. Now I'm going to show you something. Let's say the guy stays on his feet. Steve, go ahead and move forward and get me off you. All you do is follow. See, I just move to the side, and now if he wants to move backwards,
same thing. They cannot go any direction you cannot step around. So let's say they have something in their hand, like a bat or something. This can go happening so quick, you won't have time to get carved up. I'm gonna do it real speed, real time. Steve, we're ready to tap.
All right.
So, that is a MACMA attack. Fundamentals. There's also a bladed version to it. I'll show you the grip. No blade. Same exact attack. You grab here, you put this on your collar, you pull in, you use your face to drive his head forward.
Alright, for this demo, this is something I kind of, before the quarantine, one of the last roles I got to have was with this purple belt at the school.
Don't sit there.
Yeah, no. And he had done something that I had never seen before, so as a blue belt, obviously the lockdown came into play, and it was something I really learned to love because I could stall people out so long that they would either get tired or frustrated, make the mistake I needed to either sweep them or catch them in any number of things to take their back or whatever have you. So I found for the longest time that the lockdown was this mighty thing that it stalls everybody. Well, this purple belt decided he wasn't going to play my crap that day, and in a nice way. So I had him in lockdown thinking like, okay, I'll be safe, I'll be sound. The guy just stood up in my lockdown and reversed it, which was the craziest thing I'd seen in a long time, because I felt so secure in that. So when he started to step up, I didn't think anything of it until it was too late and I was tapping. So what we just learned a few minutes ago while trying to run this is that it only works on people with certain leg lengths.
It's only going to work on somebody with your leg length or smaller. I have a longer inseam than Steve does, so when he tries to lock me up in this, it does not create a break. Now, when I lock Steve up in this, it creates a break really fast. Now, what's the difference between mine and Steve's body? Well, we weigh the same. The difference is height. So, that's the answer here. So we're going to show it to you, but Steve's going to talk to you guys through it, and I'm actually going to demo it.
So, starting off, I would be in the bottom with slick and lockdown. And this is what I was talking about. I was just rolling with the guy. I was basically here thinking I'm safe, I'm good. He goes to stand up. I don't think anything of it because I got lockdown. What am I got to worry? He pops his knee through.
And I'm sitting back already.
What that does is create like a figure four, like almost like you're triangulating somebody, because that's how my feet is in there. But what is happening here is almost like a cutter between this leg right here. I can feel his shin on my leg down here, and I can feel pressure from him sitting there on this part up here.
So when I go back,
and I can't do the same to him, so it's definitely a leg length thing. So when you guys play with it, in the comments, let us know how it works for you, what hurdles or non-hurdles you found with it, if it's helped change your game. Because this for me is a fundamental thing.
oh, I'm going to be using this, guys.
Yeah. 'Cause he can attest. He's rolled with me for 6 years.
Yeah, this is going to be brutal because it's so
probably,
nice.
Yeah, I'm not keeping lockdown on him after showing him this.
All right, now the other thing, we should show it to them so they're looking at the configuration behind my leg.
Fair enough.
Yeah, point this way. Let's go up this way. So there we go. All right, so we're here. We're in lockdown. All right.
Which, as you guys know, is over, under, boom.
All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tilt back to this hip, popping the knee up like I'm going to do a cutter pass, but I'm not going to do a cutter pass. I'm going to get up on the ball of my foot. I'm going to sink my butt down. I'm trapped. I just trapped both his ankles.
And I feel a lot of pressure here.
Yeah, he's probably got about 90 pounds of weight. Like I come in about 185, 187 somewhere. So lean back, done.
Yep.
The other thing I really like about this is their hips are trapped. Like even if I don't take him, because his leg his leg's trapped here, right? So then if you have your knee up, he can't pivot out.
Oh, that actually does a nasty little thing to your foot and creates a different little angle. Yeah.
So he can't shrimp.
Nope. I don't want to even try.
He can't drop one leg under and spin out.
Nope.
And honestly, for a taller guy, again, I'm at ideal range for hands.
All right, and I'm going to be not thinking about my hands because the pressure here, we've been doing this long enough to where I can sit here and tolerate it. It's honestly, the pressure is enough to make you forget about your hands and start trying to be like, oh my God, my legs.
And as soon as their hands come down, I mean,
yeah,
I mean, yeah, you know where it goes from there.
got
So, slick, brutal move that Steve picked up.
bring into the masses, because as we agree, jiu-jitsu should be a universal love. It's not that I don't want to give the guy's name.
We can't credit. The other thing is we don't want to credit schools and stuff that don't necessarily agree. Steve and I don't go to the same school.
Yeah.
I
There
got
was a series of really kind of just.
I got kicked out. That's what it goes. The guy claimed that I smelled like marijuana, and he told me to leave, and I didn't really. I got shown the respect that I should have, or some shit. I don't know. But anyways, I'm not a good community leader. That's what I was told. I got a gi. Says on the back, I'm not a role model. I tell you that every episode. I sincerely mean that. I'm not. So yeah, keep that in mind.
And that's what actually took what was originally started as a kind of just a thing that we called ourselves out of a sense of humor, and it has actually spurned into this.
Yeah, that's what spawned the channel. Was
Is that we
the
were-
whole irritation over this, and it's not a fact that I didn't go into class stoned before, but that particular day he accused me of it. Steve was standing next to me. He and I rode into class together. We did not. Yeah, we didn't smoke or anything before class. He kicked me out, not Steve. We rode in the same car. If you guys know anything about getting stoned, one guy smokes, the other guy might as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was all just bullshit, because I kind of have a bad attitude towards like the whole karate school mentality. I observe some tradition, but I'm not going to speak in Japanese or Portuguese or bow more than a couple times.
And since this is America, we can still not necessarily agree with that philosophy, but go elsewhere and try to create a community where we don't necessarily have to be leaders, but we can be a part of a community and have a general consensus of what do you guys think versus what we think, and go
I
back
go
and forth.
I go to a proprietary school now where I'm not allowed to show the techniques. I can't show you guys the techniques that were in there, but I can use them in a role, and I can show you techniques that I already know and I've learned from the cage, because my contract says that I can't do it on the mat, so it doesn't mean I can't do it in the cage. So Steve and I are going to up the ante and show you guys how to test your jiu-jitsu. You got to remember, we came from a cage school. We come into jiu-jitsu with just jiu-jitsu sport. I got too old, and Steve's always too stoned.
Yeah.
So we went this way because it's more of the culture, but we're going to roll with one of us wearing gloves and the other one not. So one guy will be pounding and the other guy will be doing jiu-jitsu. If you've never tried this and you think you know jiu-jitsu, I got some real bad news.
Right.
You don't. Until you know how to do it while you're actually taking shots, you're still just pretending.
And you don't have to go full throttle with the shots.
Yeah, we're not saying
we're
kill
not
each
trying
other.
to kill each other. I'll be honest with you. We've done this so many times. I think I've only gotten an actual black eye once or twice.
Yeah.
And that was me moving the wrong way and you being like, oh, boop.
Yeah. I mean, we're not using gloves, boxing gloves. We're using cage gloves, so they're not really.
And they're not full force punches.
Yeah, they're short strokes.
They're
and
just.
and no elbows.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're open, and don't even fake them. You're not going to see us fake them when we roll, because
That's how you cut each other.
That's how you cut each other. You're not freaking teeth out. So, let's be a little smarter. Yeah, sorry, I'm losing a couple of charisma points today, but I didn't put all my teeth in, so I got a few missing. So,
and we might be a little pent up from the weeks of fear mongering, and we don't disagree that this is a thing that shouldn't be taken care of. We just don't like having restrictions that don't come with a lot of
actual science.
Or
like, look,
good
if you can go to the grocery
explanations
store, or he has to work in the public sector, or whatever. I mean, you're making a lot of times, like people at McDonald's and whatnot, the lowest paid people, the most exposed. They're taking care of the nation. You got a middle class that's being paid to take a dive. Whatever. I don't know what your opinion is on this. Frankly, I don't really give a fuck. But all I can tell you is, leave me out of it. All right. I'm not afraid. Don't fear life. I'm not going to be using jiu-jitsu. I'm going to be doing wrestling and brawling, and Steve's going to do jiu-jitsu. I'm going to start in his guard, and we're not going to go real hard today because
it's been weeks.
It's been weeks, and he didn't bring his mouthpiece.
Yeah.
So we'll give you a little demo, and then we're going to go into a regular.
And you guys will see from previous videos where I don't have to worry about the striking to where it's kind of like, what was that old saying where it's like, was it Mike Tyson said something about your black belt, then you get punched in the face, and now your belt before that, and then the belt before that, or something.
Yeah, and that's the truth, man. When you know, you're getting your nose broke, or you know, a cut on your forehead from an elbow or something, man.
That flying platypus joke doesn't seem as realistic.
No, it doesn't seem realistic at all. No doubt. So yeah, we'll demonstrate the kind of stuff you have to use, your gross motor skills and your basics. All right, everybody recognizes this, I hope. All right, ready? Why we like the MMA gloves, because I can still get out. You get a lobster claw or boxing glove in your hand, you can't get out, so you can't use any wrestling. Now you notice how he's crossing his arm, but instead of blocking a choke, he's keeping from taking hooks. Little things. You started to see me half guard up, but I didn't because I'm wearing these tack gloves. I'm not supposed to use jiu-jitsu, but it's pretty natural at this point. But it's one of the best drills. It don't get much better. Normally, we're gonna roll regular next. You can see it looks a lot different.
As you can see, when he started striking, I have to block. I'm committing that energy, that resource, instead of looking for submissions or controlling him, to now stopping it. Best I could do is keep my legs around him, even though they were very light shots. The fact that it's replicating these,
that you wouldn't have been.
Yeah. The knowledge that each of those is in a real situation. He's hitting me as hard as he can. And I'll be honest, I would probably be able to take not even one in all reality before I would just crumple.
If your head's on the ground,
exactly what I was,
and I hit you, you're out.
My head's smacking against his fist is smacking against my face, and my face is going backwards, and the back of my head is hitting that concrete.
Yeah, and that's unconscious. So in that position, the other thing you have to notice is the whole time Steve kept his head up, because if he puts his head here and I hit him like this, the brain just bounces and you're out, even with those gloves on. No joke. When you have a mouthpiece in and you're actually swinging, if you catch your buddy like this, you can give him a nap. So be careful.
In the before Slick had joined the original gym where we met, there was a trainer there who we were doing kind of this live drill, and he didn't go as soft as he should have. And that's where I learned to keep my head up, because my head was back. So when he got me, ding, and I literally heard a ring when it happened. So I know I took some sort of actual trauma that no other training partner in my time there had ever given me. Luckily for us, it was figured out pretty quick that he was not the coach for the job, and the owner got rid of him.
Drill it, and drill it hard. You gotta, I mean, you're not trying to knock the guy out, honestly, but you're definitely trying to make him think about something. And if he's not thinking about you hitting him, hit him harder. When you reach that point, don't go any harder.
And always do it with a good attitude.
Yeah.
honestly, he had caught me with something and I'm walking away with a black eye, I'm actually gonna be,
Irritated.
no. For me, no. I would be like, I'm gonna go around being like, look at this. My homie did this because he's gonna train with me. He's gonna make me better.
That's true. Yeah.
He found something that I wasn't aware of, and even though he didn't mean to do it, that's the reminder. That's the thing that should really clue you into. You can train solely jiu-jitsu, and God bless you. But it's the reminder for me that lets you know that if you only focus on one thing, it's the traditional mistakes that the first UFC participants made. They were solely focused on one. Now, Royce might have won all that with jiu-jitsu, but by UFC 5, he didn't evolve, and he wasn't in the tournament for a couple years.
Yeah. And today, he wouldn't make it either. There's just no way. So
Gordon Ryan,
Yeah.
Gary Tonin.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, no offense to the Gracies, but I think
Yeah.
if it was in this days and age, Royce would have had a much tougher time.
there is tougher Gracies that don't fight in the MMA circuit for a reason. Alright, I tell people, when you get into a position in an arm bar or a choke like I had him in, if you put your weight on his head, you have a much harder time getting out of this position. That's why you see me turn to the hip.
You're the only one that knows to do that. See that triangle coming? So I sunk the arm and got the leg.
I just went for the arm to come off, but
I know, that's why I went down. Oh, that was dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I shouldn't have gave that up.
If you're unaware, jiu-jitsu is the study of stupidity.
Which I'm very stupid.
Yeah, we get to prove how stupid we are to ourselves every time we roll. We all do. Opportunities we miss, we get greedy. Don't just go with that flow.
I'm gonna put my arm right back in the
Yeah, I'm almost there.
Yeah, I know.
Foot free. I'm gonna do like we do to dandelions.
Mama had a baby. Boop.
Now we haven't been rolling because of quarantine. Remember, this is a quarantine roll, guys. So
At least a month and some change and not getting to do this. Not even getting to go to class or have people to practice with.
yeah, we took it seriously for a minute.
Before the numbers started switching.
Yep. 59 days we took it serious.
Crap. That was dumb. Not quite the grip I thought, so now I feel stupid. Back to square damn one. I don't have to prove it.
That's close.
That was real close. Oh, thank God for my little piggy thumb. Oh shit. That was legit awesome, sir.
Yeah, I tried. This is why I believe you should be allowed 5 strikes per roll.
That would make it interesting. Especially if it's a stall out like this. That's the only thing I'm doing, folks, is stalling out. He's got me pinned in such good places, the only thing I can do is stall him. There we go. Oh, put the pressure off my eyes, so nice. I was seeing stars. You hit my wrist right in my eyeball.
Steven.
Oh, I'm just taking all my energy out. Ah, crap.
He's distracted right now. He's got woman problems. So he's paying for it.
Yeah, that's true.
His game, mental. He's usually
Sucks.
yeah, I don't have a choke, but
Yeah.
we got control.
That just sucks. I'm gonna think of some more of the things.
Yeah, that's what's coming as a Super
Yeah.
Kimura.
Shoot. Oh, she did the compression. Look what you do. Yeah, good night.
Yep.
Yep, tap. Compression, yep.
Alright, that was our roll. This is a two-part thing. We started this before the riots, or protests started, converting to riots. So, the situation has changed. We are doing this rioting weekend because, well, I don't see how they can be upset at us for this when there's obviously things going on that are far more dangerous and
More important.
yeah than
A
us
couple
two
guys training jiu-jitsu.
just in the driveway. So, you know, things have changed a lot. I guess COVID disappeared Thursday, and now everybody's running around together. And our governor has taken a very hard stance here, and you know, it's probably going to go one of two ways. She's either going to have to relax and open things up, or rioting will continue because there's nothing else to do. Everybody has time. These are serious social systemic issues that need to be resolved. So if you don't open things up so people have a life and are too busy, you're going to prolong the rioting. Protesting and whatnot, I think, has made it a strong enough point. As long as we stick together and we act with unity, we can actually get somewhere, you know, and that's exciting. The other alternative, which she's been pretty stringent, would be calling the National Guard. In the beginning of this video, before all this rioting happened, I said we were deep inside Nazi Michigan. And we're both kind of nervous that it's going to be the National Guard. Now we're only, I don't know, half an hour outside Detroit, but a lot of our friends live in Detroit. So, sorry to get off topic, but I mean, you know, banning jiu-jitsu was a big issue when we started this video, and right now, we kind of feel like we could do this in the park and no one would care.
There's more obvious pressing issues, and look at the jiu-jitsu, you roll with everybody of every denomination, creed, color, gender, and in between genders.
Yeah.
And the thing that we've experienced throughout all that is just a universal love for jiu-jitsu and our fellow humans.
Yeah, we don't go hard on somebody because they're different than us, nor would they do that to us. I mean, we're both white. I mean, some people don't see color, but we're
And
both.
if you peel back far enough, I am marshmallow to pasty white.
He's Irish,
Yeah.
I'm Scottish, so look, we just get along. You know, a lot of our other friends are not white, but it's not really that kind of thing. It's really about white people and everybody standing up to with unity.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it's time for us to step back from our issue of jiu-jitsu and weed for a minute
Right.
and reflect on some of this. Look, man, riding's wrong. All right? Stealing, looting, violence to inflict a policy or to get a policy passed is wrong, or to enforce a policy. Now, we experience that currently. So a lot of people are saying, well, we learned it from you, meaning not me personally, but they mean police and the government. But it doesn't make it right. I mean, you have a lot of people like Little Wayne, fan of him, Anomaly, spelled with a 0 in the center there. There's a lot of people out there that have a better look at this and a better understanding. I mean, what's next? You know, I mean, there has to be a follow-up to the carnage we're seeing this weekend. It's like a responsibility of the citizens. So, my thoughts are everybody take a deep breath, calm the hell down.
And while I've talked to some of my friends who talk about how rioting and looting is a form of protest, and you can point some historical examples and stuff like that, but my thing is this, like, if you're angry, like we all are, and as guys who study forms of control, it was appalling to see that man on that man's neck that long. That is something that we've never, I can't even begin to describe. Like, that is not something that we've ever been shown to do in what we've traveled around and see. But I knew enough when I saw that is not the right.
You can't lay somebody on their stomach and have their arms behind their back and put your body weight on them. They will die.
Just can't. And,
So,
and he knew better, and I'm with you guys. He needs to be tried and convicted of it. But let's be honest, what does looting and hurting your community do? Because now when you've done looted it and everything, you got to turn to the government to help rebuild that corporation. Now, they might be a heartless corporation, but they still, anywhere from 100 to more people have jobs in your community because of them. Are they bastards? Yeah, we can agree on that too, but you're really taking those jobs away from your community members.
and not just that, but like in Detroit, we had to get a grocery store. The only way we could get a grocery store like in the city proper was a Myers, and it had a precinct attached to it. So what happens when you do that in really dense urban populace is you drive those corporations out. They'll just move, and they won't rebuild, and you lose jobs, and you lose grocery stores, and you lose pharmacies, and the next thing you do, you got to drive to the burbs. And that's where the problem really comes into play, because honestly, that's where we see most racism.
Yeah.
Because we travel, the clubs and whatnot, and it's not in Dearborn, it's not in Detroit, and I'm not going to name the cities, I don't want to cause any hard feelings, but if you live in the metro area, you know who you are.
Celine! Excuse me, sorry.
and some
Allergies
others
this time of year.
closer to the city that have some serious systemic issues. That's seen by everybody, and everybody should say something about it. But look, fighting hate with hate just breeds contempt.
It radicalize more people against your cause.
You lose the message. You lose the damn message.
And if the message is we're mad at the government, we're mad at the police, that target has Mom and John's has no business being involved in that.
Yeah.
Let's just read on our part.
Stealing from a corporation. Now, do I feel bad for the corporation? No, of course not.
I feel bad for the 100 people who could lose their jobs.
That's what my issue is the people that are going to be unemployed.
That's in the community now. You're 100 more people unemployed. We got to think.
Yeah.
We got to, I understand the emotion is strong. And that's what they want us to do, is break with that emotion and lose our fucking minds.
It's been trigger after trigger. First off, they said that they had a virus that was going to kill like 3.4% of us. Sent us everybody into a panic, shipped themselves buying up all the toilet paper. Then we go into a quarantine. Again, more panic, 2 weeks, like Gilligan's Island, 4-hour fucking tour. Next thing you know, 2 weeks extends into a month extends into 2 months. At 59 days, we've had it with executive orders. That's when he and I stopped, which was shortly before this weekend.
Then the next trigger goes off. Again, an outrageous act by a public servant. America reacts. Justly. Now we're reacting for days and days and days. Now look, it's been trigger after trigger after trigger. At some point you have to give yourself a rest and evaluate like where you're at. Like, are you mentally healthy right now? Are you physically healthy right now? You know, do you have shit on your mind? Like that role, I'm not gonna lie, Steve's been arguing with his girl here on the phone. So, you know, his head wasn't in the game 100%, and jiu-jitsu, you gotta be, or somebody will be all over you and have control. Do you understand what I'm getting at? I mean, you gotta clean up your own backyard before you can go out to someone else's. So, check your head, check your body, check your soul.
And don't try to justify to me that it's okay to loot a store that had nothing to do with it. I'm for you being angry because I'm angry as freaking hell too. I'm tired of seeing people I care about or extended people, or families that I care about going through this. But we don't need to burn down the village to take care of the monster.
Yeah, years ago I got beat up by the police, but nobody gave a shit. You know, I had to hire a lawyer. I had to pay somebody to give a shit.
I was routinely in the small town I grew up in because I was a little grunge kid, little pot smoking grunge kid, hair down to my back. They would purposely follow me around town and accuse me of being a vandal when there was no cause or root for it. I was just walking to the goddamn store for something to drink.
No, I sued the city. I don't know if that's white privilege or not, but I hired a lawyer and I sued the city. Now, look, did it make a big difference? I don't know. It was 20-some years ago. It was 30 years, about almost 30 years ago, man. So, I don't know. It doesn't seem to make any difference. But as a collective or a community, meaning all getting along, it changes. If we divide up for any reason, any creed, color, or any of that nonsense, we lose.
Pretty sure the great emancipator once said a house divided cannot stand.
So, yeah, you know, I mean, remember, Rome is burning, but it's Nero that set the fire. So,
be good. Love one another. Take care of one another.
yeah.
I in my own time, one of the reasons why I for those of you, few of you who know how tough it is to become my friend, this guy instantly hit that mark because I was over here one day and there are kids in his neighborhood who have no fear coming up to his house of all denominations. Hey, Mr. Slick, can you help fix my bike? Hey, Mr. Slick, how are you doing today? That's more of what we need is people who are just going out and trying to be good to one another.
Yeah, my neighborhood's mixed. I got a mosque 100 yards away. About 300 yards away, I got a Baptist church. And
I just live on the other side of town, and I don't see that in my neighborhood.
my neighborhood's very diverse.
Mine's old, mixture of old and black people, so, but mostly white. You don't see the neighborhood kids thanking the local neighborhood guy for helping fix their bike. You just don't.
Here, we're pretty tight.
So this is just on the opposite side of town.
And, you know, we usually don't call the police on each other. For
My neighbor has called the cops on me because my car was 4 inches past the driveway.
And the difference is the zip code. You know, I live in an area that's not highly desirable, but I like it a lot. I do fine here.
Oh, it's you know, I drive through it.
Yeah.
It's got good families, good people here, just maybe not super mom and daddy fucking warbucks, but they're really good people, hard-working people.
And so like in the beginning of the video, you'll hear some of my neighbors fighting in the background, and it distracted us a little bit.
You'll see us look over.
Yeah, you'll see us look over.
Try not to laugh.
Yeah, and I don't know. Don't listen to the audio in the background because it was a little crass.
It's their business, but...
But the whole point is we just kept doing our thing. And then, you know, when it was done, you say hello. You don't call anybody out. You don't embarrass them. You don't, you know. Look, everybody deserves dignity. And that's what I'm saying. To have unity, you have to have dignity. So, don't be a racist.
And don't let anger misguide you into the wrong direction to where maybe not that day or tomorrow, but in a couple of weeks, months, years, you'll feel like maybe you shouldn't have set fire to that thing or burnt that thing or God, whatever it was. Because my request to you is keep the anger. Let's focus on the true ones that deserve it.
Yeah, what comes after this? What are we doing next? What are we doing next?
I don't know about you guys, but one of the things we're going to be doing over the next few weeks and months is reinforcing the love we have for our training partners, the people in our lives, our neighbors, our extended neighborhoods. That whether I'm on this side of town or the other side of town, I show the proper respect to the people who live here.
Yeah, and that's key, people. There isn't going to be no riot in my neighborhood, I guarantee you. But the rest of you, I guess.
Be good.
Be good.
And come learn jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, for God's sakes, do something healthy.
Because even with dealing with all this, we still say, you want to come see us and meet us? No, come do it.
So, yeah, we were just talking this week nice. I have to chill out. So, I don't know, stay healthy. That's key to this. You know, check yourself mentally, physically, spiritually.
Check on your friends and loved ones.
Look out for one another. Treat everybody with dignity. Unity is key.
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of my zany one neighbor who likes to call the police and everything, but I would make sure that they're taken care of. I would go over there, and at the start of this, they're a little bit older. She's a bit of a pill, but I went over there and was like, you know, ma'am, do you need any water? Do you need me to mow your lawn? And I was quite routinely some crazy shit, but I still checked on them because they're still a member of my community.
So, watch out for what's close to you, you know. We gotta start there. We gotta, you know, if you see somebody pulled over, stay a ways away so the officer doesn't get freaked out, you know, shoot you, and film it. I mean, I got a good zoom lens on my cell phone. Film it.
I'm pretty sure that you're allowed to do that.
Yeah,
well,
it's legal.
They tell you to knock it off. They don't have that right to tell you to knock it off because...
Read up what your rights are and start standing up for each other. Unity. Think unity. It doesn't matter if they're a Muslim and you're Christian. It doesn't matter if, you know, one's Irish, Hatfield, McCoy, like between Steve and I. Seriously, we've been fighting for 6 years, man. 6 years. It's practically a Hatfield McCoy thing. Now, of course, I'm joking a little bit, but seriously, check yourself, man.
Scottish and Irish versions.
So, yeah, it goes back, and contempt towards especially those in your own social class or your own race, that's just stupid. So, to look at that beyond that, it's just as stupid. So, yeah, no more hate, man. Let's, fighting hate with hate just makes more contempt. Think about what the governor's going to say. We are in occupied Nazi Michigan. We are under quarantine, and there has been massive protests and riots. So,
We're scared.
yeah, we're nervous about what she's going to do.
And you know, the next day could be worse than the day before. And again, I understand. I do. That's why I worry that the people I love and know will get hurt. I don't want that, and I feel like we need to refocus that energy onto the ones that are the problem.
Yeah, we all agree where the problem is. You know, like I said, Nero set the fire. Rome's burning, but Nero set the fire. If you don't get that, I'll make a plane for you. The government set the fire.
But it is
That's
delicious.
out. And on that note,
delicious.
we're out. Stay healthy. We'll be back soon.
And again, jiu-jitsu, motherfuckers. Jiu-jitsu.